where the hemp and clover grow. Young Jesse watched his brother Frank grab a rifle for the foe. Too young to wear the rebel gray, he chafed against the bit until the Union militia came to make him pay for it. They roughed him in the garden, put his stepfather to the flame. They sparked a fire in a boy that the West would come to name. He joined with Bloody Bill to hunt the bluecoats through the brush, and learned to love the violence in the Centralia killing rush. Jesse James, the West would know his name, a legend built on gunpowder, a legacy of shame with vengeance in his weary eyes. An outlaw's path he'd find, leaving smoke and broken promises in Kansas far behind. He took up with the guerrillas, with his brother at his side. Quantrill became his master, and he learned the way to hide. The war was done for most of men, the plows were in the soil, but Jesse couldn't stomach peace or live by honest toil. He saw himself a victim of the radicals' command, so he took his fury out upon the banks across the land. In Gallatin he drew his lead and shot a cashier down, then rode a daring getaway right through the middle of town. He didn't want the quiet life, he craved the printer's ink, to be the hero of a tale that made the Union bleed. Jesse James, the West would know his name, a legend built on gunpowder, a legacy of shame with vengeance in his weary eyes. An outlaw's path he'd find, leaving smoke and broken promises in Kansas far behind. He took up with the guerrillas, with his brother at his side. Quantrill became his master, and he learned the way to hide. The Pinkertons came creeping through the Missouri dark of night to the family farm in 75 to finish up the fight. A flare went through the window, an explosion ripped the air. It took his mother's reaching arm and killed his brother there. The boy Archie was only 9, a victim of the raid, and the fire of Jesse's hatred was a debt that must be paid. He claimed he was a Robin Hood, a friend to all the poor, but the gold stayed in his pockets as he walked through every door. Northfield was the breaking point, 500 miles away. The Minnesota townsfolk weren't the kind to let him play. They met the gang with rifles, sent the rebels to the grave, while Frank and Jesse fled the ghosts of those they couldn't save. The cause was gone, the war was won, the neighbors turned their back, but Jesse couldn't stop the train from rolling down the track. He tried to be a family man, he tried to settle down under names like Thomas Howard in a quiet Tennessee town. But the hunger for the spotlight and the $10,000 prize brought a traitor to his table with the hollow, greedy eyes. A bullet in the back of head while he dusted off a frame. The dirty little coward put an end to Jesse's game. The man was dead at 34, the killer finally gone. But the myth of Jesse James would find a way to linger on. Jesse James, the West would know his name, a legend built on gunpowder, a legacy of shame with vengeance in his weary eyes. An outlaw's path he'd find, leaving smoke and broken promises in Kansas far behind. He took up with the guerrillas, with his brother at his side. Quantrill became his master, and he learned the way to hide. He was a bold, bold robber, like Caesar he would say. He was a bold, bold robber, the papers led the way. But the truth is in the blood he spilled and the empty banks he left, until the West forgot the man but kept the name. Yeah, they kept the name.